Let's go, let's go, let's go. We back. That's right. Who better than take you into life? Two coaches who are empowering women by educating men. Ooh, we got a hot topic today. They love or they love not. Today's episode 8, relationship or relation. Shut your mouth. You know what time it is. We on YouTube. Showtime, 8 p.m. Don't be late for this analytical chaos with C. Morgan and King. I'll see you there.
What's up, family? Welcome back to another great episode of the Analytical Chaos. That's over there is her name is.
Everyone. See Morgan, the chiropractor. How you guys doing today?
Right, and I am King, and today's episode is relationships or relation shut your mouth. We'll explain later in a minute after the prayer. Let's go to the Father. We thank you, Father, for another day to share harmony, peace, and just to share information that will be enlightening, that will be impactful, that will be empowering to the people, and also bring healing. We submit this show to you today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, listen. First, before we start, I want to just give a shout out to C. Morgan, Carlton, Bridget, Tradisha, Kendra, and I hope I'm not missing somebody. I don't think I am. Andre, Tradisha, and LA, Latoya and Alicia, and CJ. Listen, these coaches are amazing. And guess what? These coaches are now Advanced Insight certified through Inner Matrix. So that means they can really look into you with their intuitive selves. And it's great. They all got certified yesterday, and I am so excited about it. Yay! Congratulations, coaches. Y'all are amazing. So, which leads us to our topic. How we supposed to dig in. Listen, we actually heard this phrase during a training. The guy was very passionate. And he actually said this person thought they was in a relationship, but they really was in a relation sugar honey iced tea. So we couldn't say that because, I don't need my mom getting me. Yeah, I'm a mama's boy still. So my mom kind of tall, so she still can get me though. So we went with shut your mouth, but we really want to dig into it though because we've been noticing some things. First, where we're going to start though. Before we start with anything else, we're going to start with the internal, and then we're going to work our way out in this discussion. And we got some great analogies. I think y'all going to be very entertained. As always, we're going to bring you the knowledge. We're going to bring you the facts. But most importantly, we're going to bring you the resolutions. So without further ado, let's get into this. Relationships or relation shut your mouth. And CJ, again, marvelous intro, bro. You doing your thing. I love it. Marvelous intro. So, all right, C, it's on you.
Well, I would say that begins at, hey, Toya.
Hey, Toya.
Well, I would say where that begins at is the interpersonal relationship with yourself. It says it's an association basically of two or more people that may range from fleeing or enduring. What part of the spectrum are you on when you're looking inside at the core of you? And the things to look at that you need are the skills you learn, you improve, and you maintain. But how do you know which way to go if you're not paying attention to the flags that are around you, your intuition, your feelings, and your thoughts that comes with your boundaries and your limits that actually come into that? And some of that, it's not just your intimate relationship. This is family, work, your personal, and your friends. It's anyone, because you're affected in each part of these relationships or relation sugar honey iced teas. Any way you want to say it, you're affected. And are you in the shit part, or are you in the sugar honey iced tea part? Is what you have to figure out. Where you at? Where do you stand at? At times we actually dwindle between the boat. We rock the boat at times, But what part are we going to rock? And are we going to be the boat? Or are we going to be the ship? Because the boat, in a sense of, the boat is your internal, because boats stay inland, is what they say. They stay in the protected coastal areas. So that's you protecting yourself. However, you still are keeping yourself encapsulated in the sense of not allowing yourself to grow as a ship. It goes to different ocean, rivers, and lakes, how it goes out. So how are you navigating your clock on the ship? And how are you protruding in the naval ways that are provided for you? There's different routes, different lanes that you can actually sail in, or at times float. Nothing's wrong with floating. As you're floating in the inland, you're sitting there thinking while you're floating. You're trying to get clarity, you're trying to find where you want to go. And it starts with yourself before you can actually help others. And I don't mean to say entertain the relationship, but actually entertain it in the sense that you're growing, developing, and you're becoming happy. You're not just staying there. And I would say the relation sugar honey iced tea part, is it one of you in the relationship that's just still staying there and not getting out when you know you should be out, when it's the toxic part and you feel your boundaries are crossed, or you don't feel respected in that part? Or are you staying in the shit part once again? The learning, the growing and developing on a bigger scale, not just staying protected in that little inland coastal area that you have, for yourself. So I think
Right.
those are some things that come through the part when you look at the difference between the boat and the ship, and how it puts you into different types of ships there are. Sometimes when we look at, trying to fix it, we got to take accountability for ourselves. We got to take accountability for how we ruined the relationship or even damaged the relationship. It's not fun damaging it. We all do it. Not one is actually perfect, and that sense of what we damaged, but we have to acknowledge the damage that we did. Both persons' feelings are important. At times, we were so in our emotions, at times, we're not paying attention that we're telling that other person that their feelings are not valid, and that is wrong when we do that. And then you have to acknowledge you were wrong. I put your feelings above mine, when at that time and moment, that was not the right place to do it. So you involve yourself in a type of storm, basically, when you are, just like we're talking about the ship and the boat. When you're in the storm, it can sit there. What type of rain that you're allowing around you? Is it a tsunami type of water coming around you that's just covering you and succumbing you, and you're not sure what to do and you're drowning? Or is it the light, refreshing, warm rain that you feel at ease? You feel that your breath is taken away, in a good way of relieving some of that weight, relieving some of that accountability for that damage that you have caused in that relationship, but some of the ones that has been damaged to you. You are damaged goods now, as a ship carries cargo. What damaged goods are you continuing to keep on that ship? And it's similar to, the container ships. Basically, it's automated loading and unloading. Are you continuously staying in a cycle of unloading the BS you just took out of it and reloading it back up into your ship, not even noticing it because you're trying to worry about somebody else's feelings? Or you're like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, I need to stay. It'll get better, when it keeps actually escalating and getting worse. Why are you in an automatic pilot, constantly reloading, unloading? You're getting stronger, but you put yourself back at that demise by putting that cargo back into you. Why are you loading it back on to carry it to the next port, as what ships do, the bulk carriers, as some of them do? You leave some crushed units. You're leaving the crushed units behind of you that were actually helping empower you, that were helping strengthen you. You're leaving them behind because you reload that BS back up into your ship. You need to understand why you were doing that. Why, when you're in some of these relationships, and when you look at the fishing vessel, they use an electronic chart to display where the fish at and how to navigate themselves, what they do. And it helps them navigate through that bad weather like we're talking about, and through some international seas. I say internal because it's inside you. It's international because you keep going from port to port, relationship to relationship, and you're not realizing the cycle that you keep repeating. And so basically, and I'll speak to the women on this aspect of it. Women, we inflict ourselves by these repetitive cycles, by the same type of men, the same type of things that are attracting to us, the same type of damage that we're looking for the healing. That's the wrong type of healing we're looking for, because it's the damaged goods that we have not taken off our ship and kept them off. We have not made them good products and goods for us to spend. Meaning, what I mean by spend and get that product and that return investment that you put in is, it's good now because you can flourish. Now you can use your gift. You can be happy. You can continue that legacy that you want to have for your family. And more importantly, you being blossoming for yourself as you there going on with the different products. So do you want to continue be stressful and in the aspect where the communication's gone, the understanding's gone, the listening's gone, the hearing's gone, all that's out. You ship that off to sea. Okay, so when you shipped it out to sea and you took the BS off your boat, what are you going to put back? What's coming back to you? What are you going to the next port to find? You can still go port to port, but change that cycle that you keep reliving is what some are doing. We blame ourselves for staying in the relationship. We know ego gets in the way at times. Our pride gets in times. However, we need to self-reflect on some of that. What are you contributing that keep repeating that cycle? I'm going to say again, that cycle, because we don't always see the cycle, but then we start to play the blame game. We have to stop the blame game. The blame game, it's point fingers, and there's, as I say, you point the finger one, three's point back at you. What are three that point back at you that you are not acknowledging, that you are not taking accountability for? Yes, the other person does have some damage they did to you. We go again with the whole point of our boundaries and our limitations for that. And then we have, the love aspect. Is that the kind of love that you're looking for? Because we got to be in our comfort zones. And that's, like I say, the coffins, the comfort zone are basically, plush line coffins is what you have. How long are you going to stay in that coffin? How long are you going to keep putting that BS in there and you're going to stay stagnant while it builds up? That bad damaged good cargoes, you keep building it up and up and up more and more. How long are you going to sit in that BS? What type of love you want for yourself first? Like we said, starting that interpersonal part of that before we can actually open the floodgates and go out to sea in the different vessels and lines that we travel in, navigate in, to get what we need, what we actually need, what we actually and truly want for us, that we can still keep going and moving forward for that. And then, like I said, nothing's wrong with the floating that you do when you're on the ship for that. But one thing I will say, as you float, find some of that clarity that you need, I would say. And that comes with the learning to improve and then maintain that improvement. Do not put that BS back on your ship. Do not put those damaged goods back inside you in that boat. Remember, the boat is the inland, the interpersonal part of you that you have to fix, the heart and core, before you can sail your ship out into, the ocean to find the different things that are waiting for you to grasp at your fingertips.
Woohoo! Down goes Fraser. You came out swinging today. All right. Let's unpack it, though. Let's unpack it. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's start with the internal. We learned something yesterday. We learned something in class that was very, very, very powerful. And that was, people are not needed to be fixed. They just need to be in the area that they are strong in. And so when you see a person that you feel like is failing or anything else, it's the fact that you got them in the area that they're not strong in at all. So of course they're going to fail. So you set them up for failure. And one thing I want to address as far as the relationship goes, before you get, like C said, before you get into a relationship, I had to do this. You need to have yourself an emotional laxative. You need to get rid of every toxic thing in every relationship that you've been in before. Case in point, let me show you something. When I was going relationship to relationship, I actually didn't know what I liked. So whenever the next woman that I just left and I go to and she would ask me, what would you like? I would tell that woman I like whatever the previous relationship liked. So I would say I like to go to the beach. That's because the person I was with before liked to go to the beach. I hate the beach. I hate sand. But I didn't know that because I was just going to relationship and I was losing my own identity. So even as women, like you say, see, need to get together, men too. because we also carry some toxic things with us. And then on top of that, we don't typically express our emotions of vulnerability. So we automatically shut in. So when we do it, it's usually in an aggressive manner or in a sexual manner. So I guess that would be the part where I used to have a bunch of elation sugar honey iced tea. I did. But it wasn't until I started developing me and realizing that I had some areas and voids that I have to get off of me. I had some things that I had to deal with personally and allow God to come in and fix it. Because as y'all know, we rock with God over here. I had to let God fix it, and then I was able to have a relationship. So yeah, at times I would in my relationship that I have now. I go to a point and I may pick up something that I didn't need to pick up because it was just a bad day, rainy storm. You know, whenever storms happen and you're going through a storm, water gets in your boat. And what you have to do on the ship, when I was in the Navy, never again volunteer yourself. I was in the Navy. What we had to do when water got in, we had like this little thing that we can flush the water out. So sometimes, like she said, relationships are not going to be cookies and cream. It's not. You're going to have some toxic moments. You're going to have some storms. But what you have to do is do the proper procedure of getting them stuff out. And you have to do that on the ship. It took teamwork. My shipmates, we all had to work together. So even in a relationship, when you get in a relationship, understand that when the turmoil comes, y'all have to work together to flush out the negative. And understand, it's nothing wrong with saying I'm wrong. It's nothing wrong with saying I'm sorry. But also, like she said, make sure that you're listening to the person, whoever is expressing at that time their feelings and their emotions. Make sure you're listening, not to respond or not to give your opinion, but just listen to be listening. And you would get further with that person, especially men that are high D's. We don't share our emotions like that. We don't. We men, period. So if a man like myself is expressing himself, trust me, you should listen, because if we shut down, we shut down. That's not good. And granted, I'm telling you, it's not good. But it does happen, and then we have to figure it out. But she said some powerful stuff, a lot of stuff, though. The thing about it, though, the most important thing she said, though, and you may have to go do the replay, and as you replay and share it, and also subscribe, because I got to say that a lot more. She said I need to say it a lot more. But go back to what she said. You got to work on you first. That goes both ways, men and women. You have to work on, to have a productive relationship, you have to work on you first. You have to get you together. Not so you don't have a relation sugar honey iced tea. Or for my mom, a relation shut your mouth. Because trust me, you don't want to add toxic to toxic. And I heard this guy say that, oh, you should just wait to talk to someone that has themselves together and no matter what, blah, blah, blah. That sounds well and good and all, but no matter who you get with, if they do got their stuff together, you got to understand something. You're merging two people from two different backgrounds. It's going to clash.
But what does that look like when people say that? They have to have themselves together. There are so many things different people want, and it's such a broad definition of have yourself together. You want them to have the mask of them together, or you want the internal of them to have themselves together. Yeah, you say you want both, but you don't always get both. You want the tangible stuff, or you want the intangible. There's, to me, have themselves together, I guess you can say, a baseline of it. So basically they're not leeches, I would say, draining stuff from you. And I don't mean just money. I mean your energy, your mind. When someone consumes your mind and takes that from you, you do end up like a mindless, empty vessel of a ding zombie. You truly, truly do.
Truly do. Right.
You're walking around aimlessly trying to figure out what you are, what you want to be. And something you said too, King, when you said you both are in it together, even during the turmoil. And in that turmoil, you can't share your business. You want to work it out and talk it out with someone else. But that someone else you adding, are they on your level where you're at? Are they on your mindset? Do they want the same things you want? Or are they just a negative Nancy adding to that that's not happy in their relationship, not trying to mend their relationship? And like I said, the relation, sugar, honey, iced tea, is that what theirs is like? And you're taking advice from them. Really? Are you taking advice from them? And I know a lot of times, when you have that support, that's the only person you have. But the person you should be talking to is the one you're having the turmoil with.
Yeah.
If that person is willing to work with you, it takes two. It can take three, honestly. The person in the middle, the silent mediator, the non-biased one. But you both have to be willing to be transparent and talk about the turmoil and look at it from both views and
Right.
both sides.
Right.
Because I can hear what you're saying, but I might not perceive it the same way you said it. So I'm going to get offensive. I'm like, no, and that's all I heard. You didn't, they say you didn't hear me. Oh, I heard you clearly, but I heard in my perception.
Right.
I have to clarify that.
Right.
No, this is what I heard. You didn't listen. Yeah, I did listen. And you can go back and forth. You can play the blame game. You're not listening to me. This is not working. There's no use of us talking. Take a minute and pause. When you're
Right.
sitting there talking,
Right.
especially when you both want the same thing. It is more of a, I would say, I'm not gonna say a struggle. It's a challenge. Is if do you want to stay in that relationship? Do you want to make it work? Do like we learned too? Do you see them in your long term? Do you see
Right.
them in your future? If you
Right.
don't see them in your long term, then they're
It's a
in your
wrap.
short term, and they need to be terminated.
Exactly.
Basically,
It's a wrap. If you don't, like you said, if you don't see a person in your long term vision, it's pretty much a wrap. You just going through the motions at that point. And like she was saying, talk to people who got wisdom. Don't talk to nobody who don't know nothing. And especially, you got to be careful who you talk to, because you don't know the person you may be talking to actually want to be in a relationship with the person you with. And unfortunately, that's common nowadays. Like, you can have a friend or somebody you talk to, you confide in, and the whole time they plotting and setting you up to leave so they can go around the back door and go get what you had. So you got to be careful. Use wisdom when you ask anybody advice. First of all, for me, man, if them jokers ain't got no prayer life, I'm sorry. What can you tell me? You ain't got no connection. I need people around me in my circle tight like that. They all vertical. They all got that vertical connection. They all have a prayer life. So if I go to them, they all will call me on mine. Not the person that I'm talking about, but they're going to call me on mine. And that's in all relationships, whether it be my fiance, my friends, my business partner. They all would call me on mine, not the person I'm talking about. They would say, well, okay, King, what you did wrong? You don't see the wrong in what you did? You don't see you could approach that different? You don't see you could have said this different? And that's the thing.
right?
That's what I need. I don't need no yes men or yes women
Right.
for that go. Like, every time I say, oh, they stupid. You right, King, they stupid. I pass. I need people around me that will hold me accountable, because the words that come out my mouth are powerful. And if I said something to offend someone, I need the people that is around me to hold me accountable and say I offended them, so I can go back and apologize. Because I don't want nobody walking around with no offense from me. Because we're trying to build here, not tear down. I said this yesterday. Right. We give constructive criticism, which means we construct, we build. We don't give destructive criticism, which means we destroy. We're not doing that over here. So if we need accountability, which we all do, we got that. So be careful. Be careful who you tell or share your business with as far as your relationships go. And again, we're talking all a way across the board. Business, personal, family. Listen, I don't even talk to most of my family. It ain't because I don't love them. It just ain't, they not seeing what I don't see where I'm going. They not on that level. I love them though. They my family, they my blood. You touch them, we gonna have problems. But when it comes to this right here, I rock with the people that's going in the same direction. And that's how all your relationships should be. You need to have people that are going in the direction that you're going. Not only that, and that are smarter than you.
Yeah, you can't be in a room with the people the same as you to grow. And something you said, the destructive part, we don't destruct. I want to clarify, we do destruct. We do. And I'm going to say the destruct part because the part of us that I was saying, the part that's going port to port aimlessly, we need called on that. We need to destruct that with the constructive criticism. We have to destroy that. You have to destroy that part of you in that sense. And what does that destruction look like, for you? And right, so you got to have the boundaries. You can't
gotta
tell
have
everybody,
boundaries.
Everything, and right, Coach Andre, you don't need yes people, because them yes people aren't going to help you give clarity. They're just agreeing with you when they're in the background. They're not being that transparent.
They're gonna run you in the ditch. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, they're running in the ditch. That's what you said?
Yeah, they're gonna run you in the ditch.
And then allow that, they're gonna allow that water. What are those ships or ones that have all those hoses, when they're hosing all the ship down or whatever? I forgot the other one. But that's the destroyer. What we're talking about, the part, destroying. You go on port to port destroying stuff because you're mad because you can't get a hold of your emotions and things like that. I don't think it's
when you go in dry dock, that's when that happens. Because when you go in dry dock, the ship is up and nothing around you in dry dock, and that's where the repairs happen. That's where the painting happen, the priming happen, the fixing everything that's wrong. So it's getting ready for the 6-month cruise that you're about to go on. That's when you hit dry dock. That's when all the repairs happen. That's when you're doing all that washing down. And honestly,
that's where the destructive and constructive criticism lie.
Right.
Because you're repairing the part that you came into port with. And so you're dry in a sense of not knowing what you need to do. But you stop there because, as you said, as it hangs in the air, it's repairing around you. So while you're dangling in this realm of no gravity, you're actually trying to find your three to sink it. Your mind, body, and your spirit, and your soul too. You're trying to sink them all together. So in that ship, you're trying to say, what pieces of me do I need to construct?
Right.
What pieces of me do I need to take off and put back on? But however, you made the thing of repairs being made. They're using the people around them to repair that shit. So in that circle, in that network, put them around you to prepare and repair you. Prepare to send you back out there, like you said, going back out maybe to a lavish luxury place, where you could have that peace of mind and that happiness for that. But they're actually the ones you import to that dry, I like how you said that dry dock. Okay, who's standing there? Who's the strict, the assertive one that, hey, you did wrong right now. You need to go take your butt right back out there. And you put the pants on, you stand there and you want to stand your ground and point the finger, go ahead and turn the finger towards you, because you need to acknowledge where you were wrong at. And all those emotions, when I was saying you get flooded, all that water coming in, like you said, you have to sit there and help, basically flush it out.
Flush it out, right.
What accountability do you need to flush out? Because at times I do this myself. I'm perfect. I'm still work in progress. But the times when I say something and it's like, you know what? I can't be a hypocrite. I just went against what I just said. I can't do that. It's not, I gotta go so quote on fix it. It's not fix it, it's making it right. You can be a man or woman to spit stuff out your mouth, that BS out your mouth. You gotta be the one to suck it back in and say, hey, you're right. My fault.
My bad. Yeah.
Right. I don't like always saying I'm wrong. I really don't. Because I try to find my facts and prove my point. But it comes to my perception of what's being done. The love that we talk about, that selfless love, exude that and show that in any relationship you have. It does make a big difference because you're showing that I'm growing too. I'm going to take accountability. I'm going to face the facts. I'm going to face the music. I'm going to face the drowning. But however, we're going to get out this together. Port to port is what I find funny that people, go to. The port to port are different people. You mentioned the thing about, you said you're finding things in the relationships you're going to, King, that you said you didn't like the beach, but you did it because the last one had it. And having the beach part of that.
Right.
But you're also trying to fulfill some of those damaged parts and healing in another person. And that's repeating that cycle of you keep going port to port, person to person, trying to find and fill that void.
Right.
But what are you fixing? Because you keep damaging. Hey, Chris. Hey, CJ.
CJ, what's up, CJ? The thing about it is, when we go to port, when you go to dry dock, what's not going to happen, you're not going to have a person that's cranking that's supposed to be in the kitchen doing an electrician's mate's job. And you're not going to have a seaman that's supposed to be painting supposed to be painting the ship, he's not going to be in the kitchen cooking. That's not what you're going to have. So you have to have people that's helping you that has experience in what they're helping you to do. And the thing about when you get fixed, like you said, in order to get fixed properly, you have to have the proper people and tools needed to fix that problem. Like I'm not gonna go to my landscape people and say, give me a haircut. Yeah, they cut, but they don't cut hair. Just because they can cut grass doesn't mean they can cut hair. So you don't go to people that they look like or have the similarities to do something. You don't go to them to fix something that is internal. You go to people that are proper, that learn. Like now we have coaches that are proper now. They can really fix you now because they have some proper training. They certified now to really fix you because they went through. Adjust and align you. That's the chiropractor. Listen, they went through some training and they got certified. So now if you come to them and you have a problem, they can fix you. But they went through the certification first. They went through the classes. They went through what they needed to do. What's happening when we try to go out here and talk to people? We going to people that don't know nothing. They're jacked up, more jacked up than you. And so you going to another chicken to help you be an eagle when they don't even know how to fly. So that's where we get twisted at. Stop going to people that don't know nothing. They can't help you with nothing, especially when you talk about relationships. In order for me to go to a port to get refilled, I need to go to the right port that is assigned for me to go to so that I can get the proper things that I need for the next port. Because when I go to I go to a port that'll give me gas, refuel me, make sure the ship is right, make sure the cargo is right, and then I can go to the next one. But if I go to a port that's jacked up, I'm not going to be good. I'm going to drown out there because my ship is going to sink. And that's what a whole lot of you are doing in these relationships. You're going to ports, i.e. relationships that are jacked up. They look good from the outside, but internally they jacked up. They are relation, sugar, honey, iced tea. That's what they are. As for my mom, shut your mouth. Relation, shut your mouth. So we trying to help y'all not go to jacked up ports and get into jacked up situations, but actually go to ports that are for you and that benefit you. Like I said, we're going across the board, whether it be personal, business, family. We're saying, watch what port you go to, i.e., watch what person you're talking to and giving your values to. As the Bible say, don't cast your pearls before swine. That fits so perfectly right here. Mm-hmm. A lot of y'all are giving y'all pearls to swine that don't even value what you have to offer. They don't even value you, but you are chasing them like they are going out of style, and they are swine. They are worthless. They are sloppy. And the pearl that you're giving them, they're giving you junk for. I need you to seriously do some self-evaluation. Not for the fact that something is wrong with you, but something is wrong with the outside. What's going on around you on the outside. Because internally, you are actually saying, help me. But nobody can hear you because of what's going on the outside. Internally, you saying, I don't need to be in this relationship. But because of what's going on the outside, all the chaos, nobody can hear you. I'm going to need you to scream a little louder from the inside. Help. So somebody on the outside can hear you. And see, this is what it looks like for real. This is what help looks like. You screaming help. Walk away. Walk away from it. Because, sorry, see, let's go here. Listen, I hope you're listening to this. I need you to walk away. Not for your reputation's sake, but for your life's sake, for your child's sake. I need you to walk away. Because see, one thing I learned in this journey of life coaching and counseling people, God blessed us with two things and two things only. We either going to plant or we're going to water. That's all we can do. But God himself gives the increase. God himself does the change. God himself does the working. We only can plant or water. That's all we can do. We can't do no more. We can't make people change. God himself in all his powerfulness doesn't even make us change. He gives us our permissive will. Free will, a permissive will. So I'm going to need you to please, I'm begging you, let God do the increase and walk away. You know who this is for. You know who we're talking to. We ain't going to say no name, but let God do the increase and walk away. I promise you your reputation is going to be good because God got you.
You have to participate too. You have to participate with them. You got to walk with them. You can't just say, like they say, you're drowning and he sends a ship to save you, but you're looking for him. He's giving you the tools.
Giving you
to do so.
Giving you the tools. Giving you tools. And we are here. Man, we here. We here. We here. That's all I'm going to say about that. And we're going to go on back to the show at hand. Sorry, listen, let me tell y'all something. I really, literally, and please don't take this the wrong way, this is King's thoughts, not C. Morgan's. I can care less about how things should go. I care more about a person's soul and their well-being than I care about a podcast. This is just an avenue, an instrument God is using. But I care more about a person's soul and their well-being than structural podcast etiquette. King ain't the one for that. That's why it's chaos and analytical over there.
Well, it's structured chaos, I would say.
Yeah,
but when we're talking about something that you're talking about, that comes with, as it says, they love nots. One thing that we forget to embrace is the love the knots. The love the knots make us stronger. So what are you not happy with yourself about or what you're struggling with and walking with? Love it. Because when you love it, embrace and you accept it or forgive it, those are the knots. Right. So love the knots, to put yourself to the love that puts you past all the knots. And you're taking different way. And something we were talking about with the loving and how we're talking about, you talked about going back out and you mentioned drowning.
Yeah.
When you drown in a different type of boat, which people don't realize is a submarine. It's just submerged under the water. You have to rise above the water, rise above from where you're falling back into maybe depression or falling back into that I can't do it when you're actually saying you can do it. You could submerge, I would say, for clarity in that part and going deeper within you because you're going under the barrier and that part of it. You have to sit and, right, Erica, like self-reflection is the key. And there, with the self-reflection, you still have to add that accountability into that. People don't like the accountability. They buck at the accountability when you do the self-reflection of that. What are you reflecting in yourself? What do you really truly see transparently that you see? Resetting that mind as you're submerged right now, going underwater, it's deep and it's dark and it's cold. However, the submarine still has its instruments and its tools, the sonar that you're sending stuff out. Under that water, you still have your family and your support around you. You still have that there. Just come up from air sometimes and just float. Float right above that barrier. You're at least taking that breath, that sip of fresh air. You're inhaling that to transform you. It's steps. And every level, every ship, every port, every submarine, every person has their place in your life, just to realize that they're there. Now, they're there for a reason. Even the ones that are thorns, I'll say destroyers, since you're talking about ships. They're there for a reason too, everybody. They're there to cause a distraction for you. They're there to set you back. However, they're there to prepare you forward and all how you respond to that situation, what you value from that situation, what you take to put you to that next place where you want to be. Everything serves a purpose. Everything serves a place. It's the lens you want to look at and your mindset and your reprogramming. Do you want to float above it? Or do you want to rise above it completely with your boat to be on top of that water, graciously flowing in a nautical line of your strength, of the power that you have inside, showing across that whole beautiful, ocean line, becoming, the cruise liners? It comes that cruise line. You have the fun in there. You have all kinds of drama. It's like a floating, not a what do you call those? Like a floating soap opera. You know, you got all of it going in there, but make it your live soap opera of yourself. That fun that you have, balance it. Balance
Yeah,
your shit.
yeah,
You're gonna turn, and it turns slowly. You can't make sharp turns sometimes, especially when you're big enough. But when you're in your boat, you can make those sharp turns when you're in your boat. When you focus that inland part of you where the boat sits, your ship helps you navigate and deal with the bigger things, and it helps with your vision. But that boat that sits inside, you can shift that so quickly to steer that ship where you want to go.
yeah. And listen, another thing. Let's go back to what we said about seeing it long term, seeing a person with you long term. Listen,
Uh-huh.
if you in a relationship with someone and if you're married or you're engaged or whatever, no, let's just stick with that. If you're married or engaged, listen, you're looking at life with this person. So stuff is gonna happen. Some things you have to build a foundation. And understand that just because it may take a year or two, it's okay. You're gonna spend a life with this person. So you're gonna have a life full of things that you need. Like she was saying, you can turn it to a whole cruise ship, just a live soap opera. But decide to make it fun. You don't necessarily have to make a building year hard. You don't necessarily have to make that a drastic thing or a drama. You can actually make a building year successful because you're knowing that you are building something that's for the future, for the generations to come, the legacy that you all are going to produce together as one. So whenever turmoil do come, understand that if you with someone that you see in the future that you're going to be with, understand, hey, this just a little pebble in the water that's skipping across. It causes a little riffle. Get back on it. Because trust me, when you drop a pebble in an ocean, it's really not going to affect it. And then when you're talking about these little problems versus a lifespan, that's the equivalent of that. It's like dropping a pebble in the ocean, and the riffles really are not going to really affect it. You just got to deal with it, move on. That's all it is. It's like my brother CJ say, it's a process. And if anybody know, that's Mr. Fix the Man, Fix the World himself. CJ, Ascension. I don't know, I said it wrong. Ascension.
Ascending. I think it's ascending
coaching. Mr. CJ himself. Yes.
Now I want to say something about the
Oh,
pebbles.
wait a minute. I forgot. We could do this. I forgot about that. We could do this. My bad. There you go, CJ.
Right.
Ascending coach himself. Ascending coaching. I'm about to highlight
when
everybody.
you talk about the pebbles dropping in, you can't have too many. Now, if the constant pebble being dropped, it will cause some bigger ripples and waves because they're not being addressed. That's the key to that part.
Oh yeah, you're right. And like Erica said, yeah, God is the foundation. Yeah, God got to be the foundation. And like, okay, I'm not trying to preach. Let me not preach.
Oh, your ascension guy. Yep, CJ. Yep.
Yeah, he your ascension guy. Your ascension guy, Mr. CJ. Your ascension guy. Yeah. But but what Erica said, God do got to be the foundation. I promise you this right here. If God is your foundation, you don't have to worry about trying to fix the person you with. Let God do it. Again, we only get two things: water and plant. If you with someone that has a relationship with God, just say, hey, that's your daughter, that's your son. Hey, they tripping. I'm going to pray. And 9 times out of 10 what happens, which has happened to me a lot, when you start praying about the other person, God start dealing with you. It's amazing how this works. He really start dealing with you. He really like, okay, so are you keeping record of wrong?
Why is that? And why is that?
Because we are not perfect. And he wants harmony. And sometimes when you can see, like she was saying, when you make up in your mind and you hear something somebody said and you hear it the way you hear it and it's not the way they meant it, you ain't trying to hear nothing else. What you say? No. You know what? I got you. Forget that. And they ain't even what they saying. They actually saying something different. And so when you go to God Like that dude be like, yo, you know what? Get her. He be like, what am I getting her for? Da 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 da. And then next thing you know, you worshiping and you getting changed on the inside. So God definitely got to be the foundation of a successful relationship. But just because God, listen, let me do this right quick. Just because God is the foundation of the relationship does not mean your relationship is going to be peaches and cream. So I want to get that out there too. You're going to go through some stuff. It just is. Sorry to tell you that. In other words, it's not no easy relationship, man. It's not. All relationships take work. And I guess that's our summary of this whole thing. That relationships take work. It ain't something that you can just float. You're going to have some float moments, but they are going to be far in between sometimes. But you got to work at it. If you really want to be any relationship you in, you got to work at it. You got to work at marriage. You got to work at being engaged. You got to work at business relationships. You got to work at anything you have a relationship that involves other people. You have to work at it. You can't just wing it, as they say. You got to be intentional. Because if you're not being intentional, all right, let me make this public service announcement. If you're in a relationship with me and you're not being intentional with business, personal, whatever, please do not waste my time. Because I'm not going to stick around. Because I'm intentional. We're intentional. We ain't got but a glimpse of time left to be on this earth. So with me and the team and the crew, we got to make an impact right now. Souls is the most important thing to us. The bag is coming, but the soul is the most important thing to us. So for me, be intentional about your relationships. Don't just go waste nobody's time. You see what I'm saying? Because time is the most valuable thing we all have. Be intentional about what relationship you are in. Don't worry about all that other stuff, but be intentional. Please be intentional. Now, yeah, I went off onto the left a little bit, but it's okay. Bring me back.
Have an agape love, as they say.
Bring it back. Bring me back.
For that part. And it is being intentional. But, it takes all sides of you and all thing about you. Give what you want and take in what you want. But like you said, be intentional and love their loving knots and love your love. It's a balance between them. And when it comes to, the boats, the ships that you have, which way do you want your ship to sail? Against the wind or with the wind? Sometimes you have to go against the wind to get you out of that comfortable coffin that you're building for yourself. Sometimes you go with the wind. You have that smooth sailing. That smooth sailing is going to come with some type of storm coming. Something's going to come. But if you stay that smooth sailing, how do you know success if you don't have any, as they say, first attempts in learning? How do you know? And learning is in a relationship. Love, strength, patience, perseverance, understanding. Not only your way, it's our way. Moving forward. Unity, you're a strong bond. And this is like I said, it's not just for intimate relationships. It's even in family.
Mm-hmm.
And family is not always blood. Who you consider, family.
Right.
Moving forward, that love that goes forward. And I want to talk about, when damaging and fixing it, like we said, accept your role that you had in damaging that relationship. Exactly. You have to be willing to hear what that other person is saying, what their feelings were, what they're saying. You have to understand that. Yeah, that comfortable coffin, CJ. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people make them for themselves. One thing too is just be honest. It is hard, honest, but one thing too that's hard too is to trust. You have to trust. You have to trust. Trust yourself and trust your decisions and trust the people you're with. That is something that is being learned. And, it's constantly being learned, I would say. And it can be difficult at times. You have to initiate the dialogue around that, what you did in a relationship, being honest. You always have to just talk about it. You have to bring it up, aware about it, or it's just going to sit. It's going to have more damaged goods going port to port. You're going to be you're not even loving your knots. Your damaged goods, your knots is the dialogue you need to initiate to repair and release. You actually really do. Lift that anchor out and love how you want to be loved and love how they need to be loved. And you actually come to that medium of, like I was saying before, that agape love that you have. State your intentions clearly. What actually do you want? They know what I want. No, they don't. You may hear what you think you're saying for them to understand. They don't understand.
Mm-mm.
They really don't all the time. And then you can't worry about getting in your feelings of, oh, you're trying to play games. Sometimes they're out there. Yes, they are. But in the main point of, you got to say it. And definitely active that practice that listening, not selective listening, actual listening to understand, not to respond, putting yourself first. The other person needs put first in the situation sometimes for you to understand their part in it. Then you have that other conversation later on to say, how it affected you. Because if you do that in the moment, they're taking that their feelings are not validated. And that's wrong of you to do that. That their feelings don't care. And you can't always turn it to, it's all about you. It's not about you. It's about the us. But we got to fix the individuals. That's what it says, individual. Don't divide within. Stay as a whole. Really, that's why you said the whole with it together. And, look at what went wrong. Reflect, that self-deflection. And as Erica was saying, self-reflection, yes, of both of you. What did you both do? What could you have done better? And the thing is, not always focus on the problem, focus on the solution. What can we do to make better? We got here, we're moving forward. Now let's focus on moving forward, not what went wrong. Went wrong, to adjust it. Now focus on that solution, for that part. Like you're saying, that dry part, like you said, get the repairs, get synced again, get ready to go back out. Try again and build that bridge. Build a bridge. You guys are always on a bridge. That bridge connects the two of you. Right. It connects who you are, where you want to be. It connects the inner and the outer of you. Bridge all the time, but you do got to knock those toxic bridges down. Excuse me. You do have to destroy those bridges. But if you want to fix it, what you ruined, take your part and your accountability in it. And once you have exhausted all those, then like King was saying, you walk away. You have to come to amends for an end of the insanity, of the constant or the recycling that you're doing, of the activities that you're doing inside of that. Don't be one of those containers that just sit on the ship and you just take everything in and you never release it. You're damaging yourself more. Take in the success crumbs that you left. Go and get them back. Cast your net over that ocean. Bring it back to you. Take your treasures back that made you up in the first place. What I would say in that sense of rebuilding you, loving the they love and the they love nots, loving that part, and don't let your ship sink. Work together with people around you to help keep the water out, because once that water comes in, it's hard to get it out sometimes if you don't acknowledge and be aware of what type of water is coming in. Is it salt water, fresh water coming in? Let the salt water come in to repair the wounds, let it heal, let the fresh water give you another start to walk in their freedom that you have for yourself and your spirit.
That is amazing. And that was C's. We forgot to ring the bell though.
No, I didn't.
That was C's action steps. Yeah, no, good stuff, C. Good stuff. Listen, man, look, we I hope I don't know how this came across, but we're not trying to beat you up with relationships, but we just want you to be good in your relationship. We want you to enjoy your relationship. We want you to thrive in your relationships. We don't want you to have relation sugar, honey, iced tea. We don't want you to have that. We want you to be prosperous. I promise you, this team of coaches, we are all for you thriving. We're all for that. And whatever we have to do to help that, we are willing to do. Like, it's amazing that the team that we have, it's amazing. They are very humble, very giving of themselves, and they are so serious about making you better. It's amazing. Like, I know, and Toya, correct me if I'm wrong, Toya has something coming up that she's working on a podcast. It's gonna be fire. Y'all gotta get ready. It's Strictly Biz for women. I think it's something like that. I helped her with the name. I completely forgot. Strictly Biz Women Podcast. That's what it is. That's going to be fire. And she also has something coming up in November, this month right here, where she's dealing with women. She's taking a group of women, and she's going to hold them accountable. She want to reset their mind. Hey, if you are a woman, you need to get with her. I hope she put her email in there so you can see her email and how to get in contact with her. Also, Andre, which me and she have been a part of both spectrums of Andre's, he has a MAP program, and he also has, oh Lord, here she goes. Never mind, discard the podcast. She's changing the name. Andre has the MAP program, and he also has what you did. See SOARS.
Yeah, his SOAR. His nonprofit that he educates the college kids and all assets and facets of being an entrepreneur while they're in high school and building them in all areas and interpersonal too.
Right. So Andre Black, he's on here too. I hope he put his website in there, because we are surrounded by people who really want to help. CJ, as we told you, send him coaching. He got that going on. And listen, I have Life Coach King. C. Morgan has C. Morgan Coaching. We are here to help you all. It's no way you can come to one of us and we not get you somebody that can help you.
Right.
Because we have
all areas of life.
We have
fitness. We have, Andre the eating.
Carlton. I forgot. Carlton.
Right.
Yeah, Carlton is the fitness
Carlton
engineer.
The fitness. Mm-hmm.
Silver medal Olympian. Trust me, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to fitness. He's a silver medal Olympian. Carlton Meadows, the fitness engineer. We got CJ, like she was saying. We have it. We have it for you. Like I said, you can reach out to us. All our information is in there, and then the information is in the benediction as well. So we just want you to know that we are here for you. Subscribe and share.
And comment.
Subscribe, share, comment, like, all that thing you're supposed to do on YouTube. I guess they're supposed to do whatever. Just do it. Just share. Share, really. Don't be stingy with the information. Share it. Because we want to help as many people as we can before our casket drop. Because I ain't going to get in my casket until it's ready to drop. I don't need no comfortable casket. I ain't even in it. I'm going to get in that joker when it's time to drop. And then there's the end of it. It's a wrap for me. See what you got for the people before we leave. Any closing announcements?
One thing I would say, don't be the cargo ship that is tearing passengers past its capacity. And passengers is anything that is not benefiting or keeping you healthy.
That right there on the right. That ship on the right. That's what she's telling you not to be.
Yeah. Or that cargo, those different
all that
pieces,
cargo.
That weight, lift that weight up. I mean, you're still floating. You are, but how long are you going to float with all of that weight, moving through that, and operate in your capabilities and in your gift, I would say, in the outermost part of that. The biggest thing is, I would say, operate in your capabilities by taking that weight off you. It'll give you some air to move, that weight to move gracefully across the water line and actually overcome some of those barriers. Barriers aren't bad though. Like I said, barriers are not bad. Barriers do help you get better when you think that you're sailing and everything is great. Okay, then you need something else to build you more. And like they said, don't be in a room where you're the smartest person. You need people smarter than you in a sense that can help you grow.
Definitely. And I'm surrounded by people smarter than me, and they are helping me grow. So I'm grateful for that. All right.
Thank you, Coach Andre. I appreciate that comment.
Oh, Andre said he was honored to be, what did he say? Yeah, I was honored to be in the class with C. Morgan. The way she broke down the dish for students was dope. Andre, you ain't seen nothing yet, bro. Now we know how to break down attributes and values. Yeah, you thought you ain't seen nothing yet, bro. It's coming. Don't worry. We got some stuff for you. Just stay tuned. We going to get together because we got a plan that's going to set us up for real. And like Toya told me, she said it's time to raise the prices. Toya said it's time for us to start raising our price.
Economic.
Yeah, we are, Toya, definitely. Listen, if all hearts and minds are satisfied, we're going to hit the benediction. Like I said, thank you all for y'all support. We thank you all. the best thing you can do is share. Share it, man. Share the information, man. It may bless somebody. You never know. If it bless you, bless somebody else with it. And until the next time, I'm King.
I'll see Morgan, chiropractor.
All right. Good night.
Let's go to the Father. Father, I thank you right now for every single person that watched this podcast tonight. Father, I pray Psalms 91 over their life. I pray that no evil shall befall them. No plague shall come to their dwelling, that 1,000 may fall at their side, 10,000 at their right, but only with their eyes would they witness destruction. I thank you for the angels encamped around about them. And I thank Father, I thank you that no weapon formed against them will prosper. Every tongue that rises up against them shall fail. And Father, I plead the blood of Jesus over them right now. And Father, we thank you for this time that you have set aside for us to empower the people and to educate the people, Father, and that they will be even better after hearing this podcast, and that their life will be in a true trajectory of their authentic self. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.